The most powerful self-led version of you leads with power. She doesn't chase, she doesn't prove, she doesn't need to overgive, and she is not responsible for anyone else but herself. She trusts, she holds, and she leads.
Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Krystal Wilson, the founder of She Who Dares. I'm a specialized breakthrough and mindset coach, business mentor, online course creator, and your number one no BS hype woman. I'm here to remind you who the fuck you are and reignite your personal power through powerful and expanding conversations on all things business, mindset, and energetics, to help you break through to your next level of success in all areas of your life, business, and bank account. Each episode is designed to expand your mind, shift your identity, raise your frequency, as well as give you success strategies to help you step into your highest, most powerful, abundant, successful, and magnetic you. So, I dare you to join me each episode, and I double dare you to implement what you learn and go all in on you. All in on your life, your business, your success. Because if you do, like so many of my She Who Dares clients and students, you will become everything that you know deep down you can be. Ready? Let's friggin' do this.
Welcome back to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Krystal Wilson. I've got a bit of a personal update for you guys on today's episode. So there's this trend going around on ChatGPT where you ask ChatGPT, what's my curse? Don't explain. And I did this little ChatGPT trend last week. And the answer that I got was such a gift. It absolutely was exactly what I needed to hear. And it actually began to unravel a few things for me that were blind spots that I really needed to see within myself. Because She Who Dares is going through such a huge growth period right now, and I am also going through such a big growth period right now, which is like a compounding of the last 18 months of deep identity work that I've been doing on myself. It's kind of all that momentum and all those little shifts have been compounding, and everything is about to burst and explode to this new level. And I can just feel that energy building within myself. I can feel it building within my business. And so when I put this prompt into ChatGPT, it revealed to me a blind spot. And how I know it was a huge blind spot for me in my business was because of how hard it hit me in the heart. So I'm going to share it with you. So the ChatGPT trend, there's so many of them, is you ask your ChatGPT, what's my curse? Don't explain. And the answer that I got was, you see potential in everything and everyone, but it exhausts you to carry it all. And when I read that line, it was like straight to the heart, that kind of truth. And I was like, wow, that is exactly who I am. That is exactly my curse. So once you get that first answer, then you ask ChatGPT to explain. So I'm going to read to you what it said, because when I read this, it was such a beautiful moment of pulling the seat up to the mirror and facing a part of myself that I couldn't see with as much clarity as ChatGPT was giving it to me. So ChatGPT then explained further to me, and it said this: you have a gift for seeing what could be. You see what could be in people, ideas, situations, even yourself. You see the vision, you see the next level, and you can see the greatness that's waiting to be unlocked. But the shadow side of that is feeling responsible for making it happen. Just that line in itself was like dagger to the heart, a level of truth that I was like, holy shit, that is so how I feel. I feel so responsible for everything. I'll continue. You overextend, you carry others, you pour energy into fixing, helping, building, holding. You feel frustrated when people don't rise like you know they can. You get drained chasing outcomes that other people cannot even see. It's beautiful, it's powerful, but it can also be a very heavy burden to hold, especially when you forget that just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Your gift is your vision. Your curse is over responsibility. Your freedom is learning to trust that not everything is yours to carry. And so that happened, I think, on Tuesday night. And I was just like, wow. I was like, holy shit, like seen, heard, that is me. Oh my God, that is how I feel. And having that articulated back to me was just like mind blown. Then the next morning, I had a one-on-one session with my mentor. And it's just so funny how the universe works, because I don't often do a lot of ChatGPT trends, but this one I felt called to, and I received such a beautiful raw truth about myself in doing so. Then the next morning, I'm jumping into a one-to-one mentor session with my mentor. And it's just so interesting because what ended up coming up in that session had nothing to do with the ChatGPT prompt, but everything to do with what ChatGPT revealed to me. And so that session with my mentor and what happened the night before on ChatGPT was just like, holy shit. Like the universe is giving me such a beautiful gift right now because of the momentum that's building, because of the breakthroughs that I'm having, because of the level of success that is building right now in my business, and the new version of me that's like cracking open. This was such a gift because it's showing me a blind spot that if I want to go where I'm going, where I'm already on the path where I'm heading, this is the thing that's going to block me. This is the thing that's going to get in the way. And so I really feel like the stars aligned, ChatGPT, my mentor session, to show me a blind spot that absolutely needs my attention. A lot of the work I do is about identities, about stepping into that next level version of yourself. And what I'm sharing with you on today's episode is my next level of identity, the work that I need to do on myself so that I can step into my new level. As something I always say, new level, new devil, right? I have shed and become, and I've done so much identity work, every new level of success that I've reached. And I am building this new level of success right now. And it is clear as day to me that the universe is giving me a gift, showing me exactly where I need to focus, what I need to mend and heal, and my own habits, behaviors that I need to shift so that I can step in and actually now embody the version of me who's already having that next level of success. Now, what my mentor revealed to me in the session, it's something that I knew, but actually naming it, like having another powerful woman in business sit across from me, witness me, and name this thing to me, reflect it back to me, it just hit so hard in the most beautiful way. Like nothing is negative about what I'm sharing. And we were just talking about different instances and different things happening in my business. And my mentor said to me, she's, Krystal, you care way too much. Like you care way too much about your clients. And how this actually came up is that I'm working with her. She's my mentor. And we do the session, and I've been working with her for a couple of months. And I noticed she's never messaging me. She's never, hey, how are you? What's going on? She's never checking in on me. We do the session. She gives me the task. I go off. I fucking action everything. And then I see her for my next session. And I just said to her, like, it was so interesting because I just operate differently in business and I'm always checking in on my clients. I'm always letting them know I'm here. I'm always available. And I have set that tone. And it was just really interesting, like working with another woman in business who's further along than me, who has the results I want, just noticing how differently she holds me and how different our styles were. And it made me reflect deeper as to why I am behaving this certain way in my business. And so when she said to me, Krystal, you care so deeply about your clients and their results, but it's so deep that it's actually heavy. And it's so deep that it actually ends up hurting me. Because somewhere along the line, I mean, I know where this is not like new to me, but throughout my life, I have felt responsible from a very young age. I had young parents. It was the environment that I grew up in. It was the things that I witnessed. I'm the eldest daughter. The level of responsibility that I have felt throughout my whole life, and then starting businesses and now working with other women, I have like unconsciously taken on their success and their results as my responsibility. And it's impacting me in a negative way because it's so heavy to hold the responsibility for so many women. And because I care so deeply and I feel so responsible for their results, their experience, and I want them to feel cared for and nurtured and held by me, the heaviness of all of that responsibility that I'm holding, it's such a block. And no one's asking that of me. Like, also when I share this, if you're a client listening, like, this is nothing that my clients are doing. This is a me problem. I am the problem. I have created this. I am the one who has an unconscious drive to behave this way. And the reason is because my wound, you know, we all have our core wounds. My core wound is that I have never felt good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, like all of the things. I know you guys get it. And I have had breakthrough on breakthrough. Like, I am honestly such a completely different person. And that wound of I'm not good enough, I have mended it. I have done so much healing on it. But I often teach in my breakthrough work is a wound is still a wound. If somebody shoots you with a gun, you're still going to have a wound there, right? The wound might heal over, you're going to get a scar, but you know, it's still going to be there. So when we do work on our inner self and our wounds and our belief systems, we do the work not to release and remove it completely. That's actually impossible. It's about you becoming bigger and stronger than the wound. And I have done that work. Like, I definitely don't live in a place anymore where that wound is bleeding every day and it's bleeding all over my life. And I feel powerless to the feelings and emotions and the voice in my head that tells me I'm not good enough. In fact, I rarely feel that. But this beautiful experience I had last week made me realize that even though my core wound of I'm not good enough is not bleeding in my relationships, it's not bleeding in my relationship with money, it's not bleeding in all the major areas of my life, but where it's sneakily still sometimes bleeding is in my business. And which is so interesting because new level, new devil, new level of success, new identity shifts and upgrades always. And I think back to my first business, my work was so deeply ingrained in my success. I had so much success so quickly in my first business that when that success slowed down, it almost broke me because I didn't realize until this happened was that I had all the success and all the accolades and all the praise and all the awards and all the money that I was getting was making me feel that I was worthy. I was finally worthy. I was finally enough. And then when I reached the top of that success mountain, in my first business, and things started to slow down a little bit, because that fucking happens in business. Business is up, down, fast, slow. You're going to navigate so many different seasons in business, but I was very new to business and I had so much success so quickly that I didn't calibrate. The more success I had, the more money I earned, the more work I realized I needed to do it myself, because things were crumbling internally as I was having success. And so in my first business, the one thing that was so apparent to me was that I unintentionally, having had so much success, my worth as a person was so deeply ingrained in my ability to have success and be praised and make money. And so I did so much work on that wound. And now in my second business, She Who Dares, I have dismantled that. Like, my ability to have success or big years or big months or have lots of signups or make big impact in people's lives doesn't determine my worth anymore. I've already done the work on that. But it's still showing up in very micro ways in how I show up with other women in my business. Because somewhere along the way, when I started to work in these really beautiful, deep, intimate containers with women, I unconsciously created a belief that I was responsible for their success. Even though I do set those boundaries with my clients and I often verbalize, you are responsible for your energy, your results, and how you show up in this space. Even though I articulate that, my energy and my actions don't always match that, because at an unconscious level, my depth of wanting to see people succeed and my depth of care, and I want to see people win, and all of that is really genuine. But what I always say, it's not what you do, it's the energy in which you do it. So the fact that I care so deeply, the fact that I want every single woman that I work with to have profound breakthroughs, I want them to launch their businesses, I want them to have so much success. And it's like somewhere along the line, like wanting that for them has become a burden that I carry, that I'm responsible for that. And I could just cry thinking about it, because until this was revealed to me, and I think working with my mentor, who's younger than me, been in business less than me, but she is just, she's just on, babe. She's so fucking on. It's so inspiring. And seeing how she moves and how she operates has revealed to me so much, just being in her energy. I'm like, wow, Krystal, you have some leaky behaviors that you're identifying and you absolutely need to work on them. And this is one of them. Even it's easy to say something, it's a whole nother thing to embody it. And so my next level in my journey, in my identity, is releasing myself of the responsibility for any person's results. I can want results deeply for the women I work with. And what's so fucking frustrating about this, and if you're a client, you'll get it, this will probably be blowing your mind, is that the women get results. It's like, how much evidence do I fucking need to relax? How much evidence do I need to know that women in my space, doing my courses, doing breakthrough work, business mentorship, they're all getting results? And so I have the evidence, but I need a little bit of an identity upgrade, and to stop allowing my own wound to make me feel like that's not enough. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough. I need to push harder. I need to do more. And it's almost like once somebody pays me, I feel like I owe them the results. Even though I know intelligently and I know emotionally that that's not the case. I'm responsible for my results. You're responsible for your results. I'm going to give you 100%. It's up to you to also put in 100%. And together, that's how we create something amazing together. But at a deep subconscious level, I am fucking holding it all, and it is heavy, and holding all of that has stalled me. And I'm in such a huge growth period right now that the universe gave me this gift to show me that, Krystal, you are moving at light speed. Like things are fucking heating up. Momentum is building. You're about to jump. You're about to reach that next level that you've been working hard to reach. But you have to let go of this thing you're carrying, this burden you're holding, because it's a weight that's holding you back. And through my little ChatGPT prompt and my session with my mentor, it was like clear as fucking day. And the thing that my mentor said to me that just was like, oh shit. You know, when like you're in a session and if you're a client, you have this experience with me. A lot of the time when you're working with a coach or mentor, it could be one little thing that they say that just unlocks and unravels like years of stuff, which is so fucking powerful. And there was just one thing that she said to me when we were having this conversation. He said, you have an anxious attachment style with your clients. Like the minute the words left her mouth and hit my heart, I was like, tears. I was like, holy shit, you're right. You're so fucking right. And she revealed that uncomfortable truth. I mean, it wasn't even uncomfortable for me. I've done so much growth that I was like, fucking give it to me. I want the truth. Tell me what you see. Tell me what I can't see. I'm here because I want you to tell me what I can't see within myself. And I think that's what makes really powerful mentorship. And I am that for my clients. And so she said that to me and I was just like, damn. I was like, you're so fucking right. I can see it. It was like the minute she said it, it was just like, you know, your life flashes before your eyes. Like my whole business, every relationship, I was just like, wow, yes. And she said, the number one thing you need to do is fucking care less. It is not your fucking responsibility to hold the level of responsibility that you're holding, and you care too much. You need to practice caring less. You need to practice messaging less. You need to practice stronger boundaries for you. And so I finished that session with my mentor with a clear path of, okay, I am displaying anxious attachment behaviors and responses, reactions within my business towards my clients. Whether or not they feel that, it's just like the responsibility that I hold. And they probably do feel it in the sense that what that looks like for me is I am always available. And this is something that was highlighted to me actually last year when I was going through IVF. I was like, Krystal, just because you can doesn't mean you have to, which is something that ChatGPT said to me, is just because I'm on my phone or just because I am available or just because I'm watching a documentary and it's 8:00 at night and it's easy for me to open a message that I see my client doesn't mean I have to. And being available all the time, to be honest with you, I don't do it from a place of resentment. I do it because I fucking really care. But then if I peel the layers back on that and I get to the root of why I'm doing it, it's probably because there's that big wound that's still bleeding a little bit saying, if you don't respond, if you're not available, then you're not good enough. And you're responsible for this woman feeling held and supported and getting results. So you have to be available. And so that is just blows my fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. And it's the truth. So for me, I always say to my clients, I want you to message me. I never want you to think about not messaging me. It's my job as the coach and mentor to manage my time and set my boundaries. So I always say to my clients, I never want you to think, oh, I'll message Krystal later or it's 9:00 at night. You just message me as you please to know the things that are going on, the thoughts that are happening and the ideas that they're having. It's me. I am the fucking problem. And I'm also the solution. I need to start really implementing those boundaries to myself. So that's going to be a bit of a work in progress because I've built such a strong habit of just answering. And the thing is, I love opening my clients' messages. I love responding with them. I love connecting with them. But then I looked deeper. Like when I got off my mentor call, I really sat in deep reflection and I thought to myself, what am I teaching my clients by being available all the time? I mean, after hours, 9 p.m. at night, on weekends. What am I teaching, especially my business mentor clients? What am I teaching them? And that really hit home because it's really important to me that I'm setting women up for success, which I do. But I have to look at the behaviors that I am showing them, because you don't teach by telling, you teach by embodiment. And so this is going to be a huge shift in that I have the conscious awareness of, is like, Krystal, you have to have stronger boundaries for not only yourself, for your client, because you are working with women in business and you are leading them through your behaviors. And when I am messaging and opening messages at 9 o'clock at night, even though I want to and I have the time to, what am I teaching my fellow woman in business? That's the standard, that she has to also be like that? Hell fucking no. And it's so funny how, like, you guys will get this, like, it's harder to change something just for yourself, but when you can see like the impact that it might be having on somebody else, it becomes like way easier to like quickly course correct. So I want to talk to you guys about what like the anxious attachment can look like in business, because I'm not alone in this. A lot of you are probably listening and being, damn, I'm seeing myself in Krystal. And that's why I wanted to bring it to the podcast, because I was like, whoa, so many powerful truths and things I've faced in the last few days. I was like, this is so important, because I think this is really common for women in business. So what this can look like is taking full responsibility for your clients' results. Like, you feel like you have to get them results, or you have failed and you've failed them. This one for me is deep. I carry the responsibility and it's fucking heavy. And I am making a conscious decision to break free of this behavior, this way of being, because it's not serving me, it's not serving my clients, and it's absolutely not serving my growth. So ask yourself, do you feel responsible for your clients' results? Number 2, over delivering out of guilt, not overflow. I mean, again, everything I'm sharing, I've done a lot of work on. It's just being revealed to me where I still have work to do. So something that I've seen in my own journey, especially in my business with She Who Dares, is over delivering. And what I noticed is probably 2022, I've created so many different courses for women. And I noticed that, like, I create something and I just fucking give them everything. You want a cow? You want milk too? You want me to call you at midnight and wake you up? Or whatever the fuck it is. When I create something, I noticed, like 2022, that I was just like, here is everything you could possibly need to have the transformation. You know why? Because I care so deeply, and I need you to know how much I care, because I'm holding the responsibility of your fucking results. Like, I could just see it all playing out so much. And so something that I started to do in 2022 was strip back what I was giving people, because what I found is that over delivering and giving somebody so much is actually most of the time going to be the reason that they don't complete the thing. Because in giving so much and over delivering, it complicates the process. People feel like, whoa, there's actually so much to do in this course, I can't possibly do it all. And so the over delivering out of guilt and that I'm not good enough wound actually ends up being detrimental to your client's results. And this is something I learned a few years ago. So I strip back things now. It's my nature to overgive. It's my nature to want to give them everything they could possibly need. But I always stop myself, like, just because you can doesn't mean you have to. And just because you can doesn't mean it's actually going to help that person. So something that I have learned is less is more. If you over deliver from a place of guilt and not overflow, this is something you want to look at. Oh my God, this next one is like totally me. They're instantly replying to messages. Now, I would say 90% of the time I'm building an online business. I'm on my phone a lot. So I get a message and I do instantly reply. Sometimes I try to on the weekends and at night, I think, Krystal, you don't need to open this right now. Krystal, you can have the weekend. But then I'm also like, maybe they need me. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I can help. I'm not really doing anything. It's okay. But just because it's okay doesn't mean it's the right thing to do for me, for the client, or my business. So this next kind of, what are we, 5 months of 2025, I am making a conscious effort to have really strong boundaries. And my boundaries are my fucking problem. I really believe this and I teach this. Your boundaries are your fucking responsibility and they're a you problem, no one else's. And that's very much how I look at my boundaries. No one is overstepping my boundaries. No client of mine is doing the wrong thing. This is all a me issue. I take full radical responsibility for how I am showing up. I'm the coach who's like messaging my client, what's going on? Tell me how you're going. Like, how can I help? I'm here. It's so important to me that the women in my space feel heard, seen, held. And I know where that comes from because I was the young girl who didn't feel seen, held, supported. And so now I'm in this like position of creating business and I'm working with women and I'm like, it's just so important to me. I would never want anyone in my world who's a client to feel like I didn't care. And if you're a client listening to this, you might be like, Krystal, this is the weirdest thing ever because, you know what I mean? People feel so held and cared in my space. But I can do that. I can make women feel held, cared for in a way that doesn't feel so heavy for me to hold. So again, they're very much a me issue, no one else's. Like a fear of disappointing people. This would be an anxious attachment in your business. Fear of disappointing, fear of failing people. If this is something as well that I'm definitely working on is like the silence or slow responses. If you message somebody and they don't respond straight away, what stories do you create? What emotions come up for you? And it's so interesting because the younger version of me in my friendships, this was a huge trigger. I just always felt like I'd done something wrong. I always felt like somebody didn't like me. I fucked up. Again, just the weight of responsibility that I've held my whole life. No wonder I've got a neck injury. And so when I look at my relationship with my clients, does that come up for me where if they don't respond, my clients don't always respond to me, things are going on. And there is that little ting of making a mean girl, but I feel like it's not a super present thing or problem for me right now, but it might be for you. And so this is why we're talking about this, because you want to clock these behaviors and you want to start to practice being secure in your business if you are displaying these anxious attachment behaviors. This is definitely me. A fear of being too much or being too direct. My whole life, I've been told I was too direct, too aggressive, too upfront, too abrasive, too much. And I often feel like that's actually the edge that I have in my coaching is that how I coach is my personality, but there definitely are times where I'm like, oh, was that too much? Could I have been softer or kinder or it's just that mental gymnastics that we absolutely just need to get rid of. Feeling emotionally responsible for your clients' results. We're clocking that. We're moving on. Like I'm so aware of it. I'm so grateful to have had that mirrored back to me so that I can change it. I mean, there are so many ways. You really need to look, for those of you who are listening, you've got a business and this is hitting home for you. I'm going to give you some journaling questions, okay? So I want you to look at where your anxious attachment is showing up in your business with your clients. Because I always teach from a place of, here's where I've gone wrong. Let me help you, not wasting time on this. So these are some of the things that I want you to reflect on if you feel like this could be you. If some of the things that I've spoken about in today's episode feel like a bit close to home for you, like they did for me when I was having this conversation with Chat and my mentor. So one of the things that I'm practicing is being secure. Now that I've named it, I know what it is. I know what the behaviors are. I know what the feelings are. I know it's my old wound bleeding a little bit. So I am practicing being secure. So if I feel that anxious attachment come up, I'm like, Krystal, what would the most powerful, secure version of me do and respond and feel and think right now? And that has been super helpful just in the last few days, navigating feelings as they're coming up. And so the other thing that I had to look at is now that this has been revealed to me, just like it has to those of you who are listening, who are like resonating, it's like, what can you see in your habits, behaviors, how you show up, how you react, how you respond that you can no longer be available for? And so a few of those things for me is like, I need to really, again, just bring my focus back to my relationship with my phone, my relationship with Messenger, my relationship responding with clients. Like, even though I might be available, even though I love interacting and responding with my clients, I am building something that's way bigger than me and way bigger than where I'm at right now. So these habits, I need to clock them now, because if I have 100 women in my course and I am allowing these leaky boundary behaviors, there is no way that I could hold that. It would honestly burn me out. And where I'm going, I'm not allowing burnout. And so I feel like the universe has shown me these gifts so I can clock this now. So you need to ask yourself, what are you no longer available for? You know where you want to go. Like, you know your goals, you know what you're building. What are some of the leaky behaviors that I'm displaying that are anxious attachment that I absolutely cannot take with me? Like, I need to clock them now. I need to work on them now, because they will block me from going where I'm going. So where are you feeling responsible for your clients' results? Where are you stepping outside of your own boundaries and not honoring yourself? These are all the things that I'm looking at within myself. And to be honest with you, I look at what's happened this last week and what's been revealed to me, and I'm just so grateful. I've cried so many tears, not from pain or embarrassment or shame. I am grateful as fuck. I'm like, wow, what a gift to be shown this and have this revealed to me. Like, when I'm in the middle of such a huge wave of momentum, like my next level of success, impact, and income is like on the precipice of exploding. And it's like, this gift is a gift, because I truly believe that you cannot change what you're not fucking aware of. And so to have this awareness, I'm like, let's fucking go. I know exactly what I need to do to clock this behavior, clean up these leaks, to really step into that next level within myself. So a reminder that I've been giving myself, and a reminder I want to give to you, the most powerful self-led version of you leads with power. She doesn't chase, she doesn't prove, she doesn't need to overgive, and she is not responsible for anyone else but herself. She trusts, she holds, and she leads. So this week, practice being your most secure self. So when your shit comes up, stop and ask yourself, how would the most secure, powerful version of me respond right now in my business? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you took away something amazing and powerful in today's episode. If you did, I would love to hear from you. Jump into my DMs, but I may not open them after hours or on weekends, because that's the thing that I'm practicing. And you guys can hold me accountable, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be fucking worth it. Now that it's out here on the podcast, I feel like I'll be like, shit, I can't open this message because I've told the world that I'm trying to still play boundaries. Anyway, you guys can call me out, drop into my inbox, let me know what you took away from this episode. I love you. You're amazing. You're fucking powerful. And here's the thing. If you watch me and you think I'm powerful and I've got it all together, no, babe, I have shit. I've got up levels. I've got stuff in my new identity that I'm stepping into. I've got old beliefs and wounds that are leaking. But you know what? I've built me. I am bigger than all of that shit. And that's the work that I teach women. Life is going to lie. You're still going to have shitty beliefs. You're still going to have wounds that bleed sometimes. People are still going to piss you off. You're still going to get triggered. But when that shit happens, I am bigger and powerful and stronger than any of that bullshit. But there's an old version of me who was so small, and all of that stuff was bigger than me. And that's the work that I do with women. That is breakthrough work. That is the She Who Dares woman. Let's fucking go.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. If you loved this episode, be sure to share that with me by leaving me a review, and head over to the She Who Dares official Instagram account at She Who Dares Official, hit follow, slide into my DMs, and share with me the impact this episode has had on you. And before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. The universe is responding to you. It is following your lead. You are the one who has to move first. And when you do, the whole universe will move with you, because it's I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. That is our official She Who Dares mantra. I want you to write it down, put it on a mirror, and I want you to remind yourself of it every day. When I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. When you follow this She Who Dares mantra, you are going to unlock the magic of the universe, and you are stepping into your most powerful self. I can't wait to see you for the next episode. Thanks for being here.